How Long Gone is here. I'm back in California. It's Tuesday, March 1st, 8-something a.m. You're listening to this on Wednesday. Chris, what's up? You're still in the chilly, snow-covered hills of Brooklyn? That's where you're at?
No, it's actually warmed up. I'm in Manhattan where I belong. And
so it's gotten all the way up to 40?
I think, 48, maybe 50. Yeah.
No.
I know. It is gray, unfortunately, but we're not here. Relax, Al Roker. We're here to podcast.
Right now, New York is cloudy at 41. TJ called it yet again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Edward 40 Hands Roker called it.
You're so smart.
Well, Chris, today, guess what the high 1 p.m. today, which is about 4 hours, 84.
84. No, I'll be back. I'm coming back to California.
I know. I just, there's so little opportunity for me to rub it in like a soft services clearing clay that I have to take any rubbing opportunity I can get with you because you're just that good. An impenetrable wall.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, it's a good. I'm absolutely destroying myself at Barry's boot camp, so I'm kind of in that zone. Jason, I'm sure you've been here where sometimes after a really intense workout, all you can kind of do is stare at the wall. The brain's not doing much, and for an hour post shower after dousing my body in expensive soft services products, I just stare at the wall and nothing happens in the brain. It's not like I'm contemplating life.
Yeah, you're acting like this is a negative byproduct when this is actually the sole intention of your physical fitness is to reach this state of brainlessness, even if it's just for a few fleeting moments in your hellish existence. But yeah, that only really happens to me in the hot summer months when that happens. Because I don't push myself as hard as you do, of course. But
that's understood.
When it's like a 3-hour 100-degree tennis session, and you just the only thing that I could put in my body is blue Powerade, like everything else doesn't take. And then you just kind of put I like to put my legs up on the wall or, do something like that. And you just kind of sit there. You can't even look at your phone. You're just like,
no, yeah, it just hurts. And it feels.
Don't act like you don't love it.
No, I love it. I
love it though.
This is my candy. This is my weed. I can't get enough, Jason, of staring at the white wall. But
okay, good. I'm happy. I'm glad you get to get that. As soon as we touched back down into LA, I got to have my first good night's sleep in a week, and let me tell you, man, nothing hits. Nothing hits like some Cali Kush and Cali King.
Have we not figured out maybe a combination where there's you buy the Cali King and then you get a kind of a Cali Kush subscription service that comes with it?
Most weed dealers are named Casper, so it makes sense that there would be some type of mattress marijuana collaboration going on there, but maybe we can talk to our friends at Pure Beauty or Rose or any other of these elite edible companies and see if we can get, what's your sleep mattress number? What's your THC, CBD sleep number? Whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh, baby. I'm thinking more of a Hastings Rose collab.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So once you buy the mattress for 15 racks or whatever, or 40,
27,000, but yeah, go on.
Well, it depends on which one you get. The Cali, if we're saying Cali King, yeah, it's going to be 50. Then you get like a lifetime subscription to Rose to help you really melt into that down. You know what I mean? This is a good, and I think Casper actually is failing now, so I think they might need some help.
Okay.
So maybe I'm sure there's some agency bros listening to this that are connected to the Casper Corporation.
I like that you've created a scenario where all you have to do is buy a mattress and you get marijuana for life. I feel like some restrictions may apply.
Well, no, it would be small quantities, of course. And I also would think that there's a governor on it, much like the go-karts growing up in the South,
Wow, nice, Chris.
You can't drive those things too fast or you might wreck. And the same thing with marijuana. For inexperienced users, you have to. It's a slow drip, Jason, not a snort. I got my first good night's sleep actually last night because of all the partying you had me doing. But last night I was able to have an early one and just watch a couple episodes of Love Is Blind season 2 and just
Ooh.
Get into bed, read my Howard Stern book, and just doze off. You know, it's
private. You're reading private parts right now?
No. There's a book of the collected interviews that came out a couple years ago. That's really good.
Man, I gotta say the thought of reading old Howard Stern interview transcriptions in bed doesn't sound like tons of fun. But do they kind of edit it down for?
Oh yeah. It's like it's very well edited. It's like
okay.
Actually, he tells the story in the intro, which is really interesting. That he like didn't want to do it, and the publisher basically brought it to him.
Oh,
not finished, but basically like, hey, this is exactly what it will be like.
So you're talking about POC, proof of concept.
Proof of the other POC, proof of concept. Yeah,
copy that.
He does a little bit of an intro for each person and kind of talks about their relationship and like
he's like, I remember Jenna James. I mean,
no,
I remember. I'll never forget the first time I threw bologna at her asshole.
No, it's not.
What
like
a
that.
Great gal.
It's not. The intro is actually really powerful. It's really interesting. I told you this. I think how he realizes that like he was so obsessed with being that character and like tracking ratings. Mm-hmm. He basically like had to almost die to like understand that that's not who he was and that he would be better. Like he became a much better interviewer after he dropped that.
Right. So he went Steve-O mode is what you're saying.
Yeah. He was the original Steve-O.
Steve-O may have had to drop out before Stern.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not as familiar with Steve-O's catalog.
Hopefully there's a foreword by the president of the Sibian Corporation in this fine tome.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Could you explain what the Sibian is for our listeners at home?
Oh no, I'm good. I think they know.
Okay.
But
all right, you got it, brother.
Well, I'm feeling refreshed and just excited to be podcasting again with you. I can't get enough. After that conference, I'm just feeling invigorated for the industry. We announced a big show today in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. We listen to our body, and when it says, you know what, we're in a healthy, safe space where we can go and travel again, then we do it. Then we call up our good friends at High Road and we say, give me Matheson.
Well, I talked to a friend of the show, Liam Gosselt, today, and he was like, last person I saw at the Great Hall was Paul Simon, and I was like, damn, we're in great company.
Whoa,
we're in great company. And also, my other friend was like, I saw Jonathan Richman.
Okay,
so it's like it feels like the right place for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, it feels like the right place for you. I don't really listen to either of those people, but I recognize them as legends in the game for sure.
I'm sure that Wu-Tang Clan has played there as well. You know, I mean, I'm sure that
don't Wu-Tang me, bro. Don't come on, bro.
I'm sure Chief Keef has at least driven by it.
Much better.
So
much better.
That counts.
And shout out to Chief Keef for his efforts. I think he's heading over to the Ukrainian border. I think parts of Belarus he's trying to hold down. So boots on the ground over there.
He said it's finito for Russia if I get over there, bro. You don't want the smoke.
Very nice. Very well. Let's see here. Shout outs to the Four Horsemen for taking care of me on my last meal in New York. I had a grimy Brooklyn meal.
I'm so glad that you were able to go to the LCD Sound System restaurant after just a day after they appeared on Saturday Night Live, looking at the worst people at the farmers market. As I tweeted.
So I did watch.
Bro,
LCD
how bad
on SNL?
How
last night.
bad? It was shocking how bad it was.
I don't really pay too much attention to them. I know that they were doing, 50 shows in 50 days at Brooklyn Steel or whatever, but they're always breaking up and doing their last show and getting back to reunite because I don't know why, but I was watching them play and I know that they're kind of trying to do like a Talking Heads kind of thing where it's a bunch of different white people and one Asian doing like...
No, there's a lot of Asians.
Kind of world music, live, percussive, like a hypnotic rhythm of things, but it was just a real snoozer. And obviously they're kind of New York royalty. Depending on who you're asking, hate him or love him, it's the truth. And, so they kind of deserve to play on SNL, but... nobody wants to hear those new boring ass songs. Play the hits.
That's what I was going to say. It's like this, you're over the hill. It's not good, but you have like 5 classics. Like you got to play at least one of them.
Yeah.
To not play one classic on SNL when you're like in the twilight of your career just seems like ego death.
Even if you're a big artist that like sells out arenas and is like currently in the zeitgeist, they like Olivia Rodrigo has to do driver's license whether she likes it or not.
Yeah,
they always say, first song, do the thing. Second song, you do your little bullshit, whatever, your little special project.
Yeah.
Just play the hit on the first time, then you can do whatever you want. And they just did another one of those songs where he just screams the same word over and over again, and then 11 different guys who work at the farmer's market go bing 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 boom 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 bing bing bing. You know, they added an Asian girl to the band, which you know, you guys have already broken up. You're done with your musical career. You've had Nancy Wang playing in your band for over 2 decades now, and she's like a member of the band as much as anyone. And then they replace her with a younger, bigger boobed Asian who also plays a chord that goes "Brr, bong."
Yeah, it makes. I mean, it feels like you can't put pressure on a founding member of the band like you're going to get replaced at this stage.
It reminds me of when we got Bean, you know, and Margot. You know, when you get the young dog, and you have the old dog that's been around, and then the old dog's kind of looking at the young dog like, what's going on here? I don't like the looks of this. And then the young dog's like, look at me. But then also, then the old dog has to teach her like, hey, you know, after a while they're going to get a little touchy, you know, backstage.
Look, dad's a little bit of a dick when his guitar's out of tune.
The guy with the Cosby sweater, he gets a little handsy, so, you know. So they kind of show each other the ropes of how to navigate in this man's world, but I don't know why. And then it's also like, hey, thanks. I know James Murphy is a millionaire. And I know you have an 11-piece band and you pay us each $300 every time you make $30,000. But yeah, let's add another person to split this money up with.
All of that is fine to me because it's the James Murphy show.
It's just business.
Do what you want, but the song selection offensive, and just as offensive as you going to the Commodore in Brooklyn in 2022 after you had a meal at James Murphy's wine bar. So I would like for you to. Look, we only have a few minutes before our guest comes on, but
that was light bites over at James Murphy's wine bar, and they did. You know, it was a dazzling experience. I really liked it. We got to sit at the bar, and you know, it was a who's who of image makers, and you know, we had a great person serving us, and he took us on a journey, on a mouth journey. It was cool, but it was like, you know, 3 or 4 kind of smaller plates, and it was literally around the corner from the Commodore, a place where my life partner, you know, is near and dear to her heart, having lived in Brooklyn for a long time.
We've all done coke in that hell at some point, and we're not proud of it. To revisit is insane. To revisit, did you have fried chicken or nachos?
No. We only we weren't starving. Like, we ate food, but it was kind of, and we didn't even finish half of the nachos. But it was just kind of like, we're drunk and feeling silly, and we're like, oh my god, we're right around the corner from Commodore. We used to go all the time.
But Jason,
we got these nachos there, and we went, we ordered the nachos. we hung out for 10 minutes, and then we went home.
You're talking a lot, but you're not. Why don't you share with the people? Why don't you share with the people what you had to drink, Jason?
Oh, it was a pina colada. You got to get a pina colada over there, bro.
Going to the Commodore in 2022, one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad. You're a nice guy. You're a nicer guy than me. That, you know, and
it's
not
like
that we don't know that.
Yeah, it's like the high school reunion where like all the people that didn't leave the town are still there, even though they did leave. It's just like, here's the 2022 version of who you were hanging out with in 2008.
No, everybody. I'm sure it's the same staff. I bet
it was sobering,
but they're all fat now. That's what happens. But all right, we do have a guest today. Emmanuel Olunkwa is the new editor-in-chief of Pinup Magazine. Co-founded November Magazine. He makes furniture under the E & Co label. And he also served as the editor of The Broadcast, a publication from the good people at Pioneer Works. He lives in New York now, but he's actually from LA.
He's a Cali bro, and I know him from Cali.
I was checking this guy out. This motherfucker is young, and he's lapping our asses.
He's young, he's lapping, he's getting it done. He like builds furniture, and it's on sale at Essence right now. Hopefully we can use your discount. But he did the one, you know, the thing that is basically, you know, gold in our world, which is he was on the cover of Popeye magazine.
No, I know. And that is something I'm obviously deeply jealous of. And I hope he's here to stunt on us, even though
we'll see.
It goes without saying that he's more successful than both of us. And he's only, you know, I don't know, 10 to 13 years younger.
That's right. But don't worry, he probably lives in Bed-Stuy, so you've got something on him. You have something to attack him about.
The first thing I'm going to ask is his full address in New York City, just so we can kind of get that on the record, and then we'll go from there. But I don't want to scare him off in the first minutes of this.
No.
This
I'm sure
program.
it's a very tasteful apartment, though, that is much nicer than ours.
I'm going to guess he has more bedrooms and maybe an extra floor on us.
No way.
Yeah, it's possible, bro.
Bro, I live in Glendale.
Yeah, it can be, but you have a one floor. You got your shit's short, bro.
I have a single story, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and that's bigger than any house in New York ever in the history of real estate.
That's just not true, fam. Not if you go to Bed-Stuy.
Copy that. Okay, we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Okay, all right, let's go.
And I don't care who's at the top. Let's give him a zoom.
Emmanuel, welcome to How Long Gone. We were having a discussion during our intro about how big your apartment is. I said, I don't know what neighborhood you live in, but I'm guessing that you have more than one bedroom and maybe even more than one floor. Is that crazy of me?
Oh my God. Listen.
Listen.
I am living a lot of lies, multiple lies. No, I think because so it is my birthday today.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm having a party tomorrow. And I think when you're like, it is your birthday or whatever. And you're like, are people going to come? Are people going to pull up? And I was like, you know what? I don't think people are pulling up for my birthday. I think that they're actually pulling up for this very question. Like, how big is it?
I don't want to fuck you. I just want to see how big your dick is.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck if it's your birthday or not. I just want to pull up and vibe. And it's my apartment's not that big, but it is.
It's well curated.
It's well curated. So I actually everything's kind of made to size. I mean, Jason, I'm sure you know this is how you kind of.
Jason has to do pants like that, but he doesn't really do furniture that way. But yeah,
exactly.
Same kind of thing.
So my apartment's dressed that way. It's a lot of rooms, but they're all fairly. They're all. It is spacious for one person to live in. It's kind of crazy, but I have a kitchen, a dining room, a living room, an office, and my bedroom. But everything is it's kind of like a dollhouse miniature kind of zone where everything is exactly what it needs to be, and there's no excess. So my bed is in a cove in my room. It's not like I can get crazy with the layout. So
when you call it a dollhouse, that means it's very nice, appointed,
but
tiny.
Yeah, but I'll have a backyard. I mean, it's kind of
backyard. Jason, he's in Brooklyn. What neighborhood?
I'm in Bed-Stuy. I am in Bed-Stuy. I moved to New York for college, so I have a very different vantage point on apartments. I know them. I just have a very specific relationship to the architecture of apartments, and I'm also from Los Angeles. So I'm trying to have proper space to actually do my thing and think and fuck. So I also someone pulling up on my apartment in Chinatown. It's just you got me fucked up. I'm not trying to have someone just pull up on me like that. I'm doing all kinds of shit.
What do you mean? You're saying you want some separation from the scene. You want to be able to go into your area and be left alone and not run into any.
Yeah,
Emmanuel, he needs a sanctuary that he can return to and recharge his batteries. I'm guessing you're a Virgo just like us, but you don't want to walk out your front door and see some fucking some guy wearing Jinkos trying to do heel flips wearing Vetements heels and shit.
Yeah, I can't fuck with that.
That's all I want to see.
No, I'm not a Virgo.
Oh, well, that's your bad.
Come on, it's my birthday today. I'm fucking not a Virgo. I'm a Pisces. I'm actually the opposite of you.
That's where you fucked up being a Pisces.
No.
What does that mean? Tell us what.
So Pisces is opposite of Virgo, which Chris and I are both Virgos, and
oh my god, so fun. Okay,
so we're yin and yang, not fire and ice, is what I feel like. But please describe yourself.
I mean, I know astrology is a vague, not a vague language, but I do actually know it as because it's whatever. It's a language essentially, right?
So you know a lot. So do you know a lot of white chicks as well?
I do.
I actually do. Yeah, I do.
But welcome home, brother. Welcome home.
You'd actually be surprised. Yeah, it's less the white girls. It's more just these woo woo. Those I generally know kind of woo woo people.
Woo woo knows no color lines, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. There's no bias. There's no racial bias. But no, I think a lot of people meet me, especially Pisces, people who are born around this time. When they meet me, they're like, "You're not a Pisces. You're not. We don't fuck with you." That's just straight up the vibe.
They sniff you out and they say something smell fishy on this Pisces, is what they say.
I'm not Pisces are kind of stereotypical, emotional, and people who encounter me on the internet assume that I'm a Leo because I'm just doing my thing. And because like leaders are like the star of the show, they move them, the movers and the shakers, like they kind of take no prisoners. And I conceptually I do move in that way.
To be fair, you do come off as one who is doing their thing.
That's true. That's true.
I'm kind of I just like like that is why I'm in Brooklyn. I'm out here fucking doing my fucking thing.
I know you've worked with a lot of clients, but was that Outdoor Voices campaign? Was that you?
Outdoor Voices campaign? What?
Doing things?
No, I'm like I don't
I
even
just
know
had
how
to do one more. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I'm not. I don't think that's my brand. Outdoor Voices.
He's like, bro, I don't fuck with shitty tights. Get out of here,
like,
TJ.
what? I was like, Outdoor Voices. No. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna.
It's your birthday. Don't cross the line just yet in the first 5 minutes.
I was gonna pop off. I was gonna fucking pop off. I had
don't tease a pop off. You can't do that.
This episode will only be listened to by a dozen or so people, so this is a safe space for you to pop off without any repercussions. Don't worry.
I have these like idle thoughts that are so like just like collaborations with brands and signing like NDAs and shit, and like you work with someone and they fuck you over so intensely, like these startups, and
so
like
you want to let it spray, but the NDA is keep.
I wish I could name names because I work with like those like kind of startup consultancy brands. Like you can kiss my fucking ass if you.
Hell yeah!
It's so on site. Like
if you have a non-alcoholic spirit company or a mental health app, it's on fucking site. Is that what you're saying?
It's like these like startup consult. I mean, I think I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so much smarter than most people, but I'm like, let's call a spade a spade. Like we're all fucking throwing vibes around and making shit up as we go. Like that's just what this is.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I threw some vibes around just earlier today, so yeah, I get it.
Jason, don't refer to sexual intercourse as throwing some vibes around. Okay, please don't do that.
I threw some vibes myself, and got caught.
Let's go.
And got caught.
Happy birthday to us, E-Man. Let's go.
If you're not throwing it, you're not getting caught. You know what I'm saying? If you're not throwing a lime, you can't get caught.
Yeah, I find exactly what you're talking about to be a full fantasy land of like, I don't understand how everyone gets so much money for ideas that are seemingly bad or at least inconsequential.
I have so many feelings about so many things, and I think it's actually purely a consequence of living alone in COVID. I'll say it. I did it. That's what being privileged gets you, affords you. You know what I mean? These fucking idle thoughts.
You were privileged enough to be able to lose your goddamn mind in the last 2 years.
Mind. Yeah, no, I think I've been thinking I'm not one for meetings. I really hate meetings. I'm like, don't waste my time.
You hate meetings? That's all I want to do is I'm going to the Mercer.
Well, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's like, I'm all about like story booking and like storied meetings. Like I'm like, meet me at the Jane. Actually don't meet me at the Jane, but like, don't meet me. But
so you want to do a meeting where you have to put a look together for it versus like, let's just run down to the coffee shop after the gym type of meeting.
I'm young, so I never really had that. I never had meetings in that way. I had like internship interviews that like fell into that kind of situation, or like when I was like consulting for 300, but that was like a different bag.
Hold on, bro. Did you sign Post Malone?
I did not sign him.
Ooh.
Damn, Emmanuel was building with Lior and Migos and Post. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, a friend was on the label, and I like worked closely with. I'm like, I can't be out here and fucking.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, no, I was just out here, in the office, making some decisions.
Was this while you were in college?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. College was a crazy time.
Look, man, we didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? On this podcast, it's kind of, we're not anti, but because we have a lot of smart people on because it makes us smarter.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't go to school to like make friends.
Right.
Like I didn't go to school to make friends. I went to school to like acquire. It's like a very specific kind of positioning. You know what I mean? Like, people, it's like I'm all about the narrative. People are like, "Oh my God, you went to Columbia," and I'm like, "I did go to Columbia." How does that make you feel?
You switch it on. You put it back on them.
So, as a person who is obviously aesthetically blessed and you make furniture, were you fucking up these dorm rooms, or were you going in and going absolutely brazy, or were you IKEA like the rest of them?
No, I wasn't. I didn't like. I'm a very obsessive person. I always tell my friends. My friend Aria, actually, who's like kind of like my thought partner and everything.
Hold on, THOUGHT.
I mean, not no. Both,
okay, just want to understand that. Make sure the spelling is clear. If this is audio based podcast,
you ideate how you're gonna get this dick. Go on.
No, exactly. So Aria and I like chop it up, and like whenever I'm like angry about someone or she's like talking about someone, I'm like, I don't fucking care about that shit. Like, once I start thinking about a person, it's over. Like, if you exist in my mental space and I don't think about you, then like you're good. That's like neutrality. But like the moment I start to compute what you are saying and wearing, it's fucking over. That is like, you don't want me to think about shit. That is. And so, no, anyway, in college, I wasn't thinking about furniture. I've always thought about architecture. I've always thought about growing up in LA. Like my friends just like lived in Brentwood, in the Palisades, and like.
Okay.
I barely have friends that live in Brentwood. I'm 40 years old.
I got 2 friends in Brentwood, John and Vinny.
I'm just like deep in the LA bag. And I just grew up thinking about this kind of shit. Cause I feel like when you live in the city, you're paying for like, it's like a storage room that you're paying for. You can pass through, you shower, you shit, you leave. You know what I mean? Like you're not actually like trying to spend time in your crib. Or if you are spending time in your fucking crib, you're like, you have like some like janky ass, dusty ass people posting up and it's like a weird cosplaying where like the people who pull up into your apartment are your audience. They suddenly become like your audience, for whatever the fuck you're doing. And I think I don't need people to be witnessing what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, it costs money to witness what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I'm with you. You gotta pay for that.
Yeah, come over to my house and watch me smoke cigarettes on the fire escape.
Listen, when I was in college, I was right before, because I moved here right when like Dime started to pick up, and I did have this fantasy of living there, and then certain people beat me to that fantasy, and then I was like, this is hell on earth, and I will not be fucking doing it because what? Because I started thinking about it, and that is how I knew.
So you just float through life vibes only.
Oh,
you don't
listen. This is like my kind of catch-22. This is like my curse and a blessing. Like I'm so considered. Like I think like, in the clothes that I wear and the things that I say, whatever, vibes. Like I'm really I've thought about the shit that I want to say. But then when I'm like person to person, like I'm not trying to fucking think. Like it's the worst when people who know that I write or design or have taste, like want to talk to me. And I'm like, bro, if I wanted to talk to you about that, we would be in conversation. Like I would be hitting you up.
You should try podcasting. It sucks.
No, I mean,
so because you've brought this up a couple times since we've been talking about like your brain is like this beautiful thing that has gotten you to where you are in life, and you're a very considered person. You have great style and aesthetic, and you've accomplished a lot for somebody of your age. But
I don't even know that person.
These are all my words.
That person.
These are all my words.
All right.
These are all my words. But also your brain, this source of all this good, is also like, if I start thinking about you or this thing, eventually where it's going to end up. Something negative or something bad.
Yes. Or like I for instance, like in high school, I would always help my friends like get dressed for parties. I would get dressed at home, and then I would pull up to my friend's spot and be like, all right, come outside. No, like, no, come in for a second. I'm like getting ready. And I'm like, no, just no. Why? Because
he's not.
Why I gotta come in?
I get it. He's not a fucking stylist. He doesn't want to think about it.
So you're sitting you're on the sidewalk saying, "What's the budget? I'm not coming in."
No, exactly. I'm like, "What's the budget?" And then I pull up and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? What? Where are you?" And then they'll be like, "Oh, like, should I wear this shirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you should wear that shirt." and then. They'll be like, and then I'll be like, fuck, I can't actually. And then I'll be like, actually maybe change the jeans. And then like midway through, I'm like, no, but the shoes don't match.
Right.
And it's just fucked. It's fucked from there. And then I'm the bad guy.
If I let one drop of water out of this,
it's fucked. It's a torrential. It becomes a torrential.
It's a
pour.
torrential downpour.
Yeah,
Classic Pisces, Leo.
I was made exactly. I was made the villain in high school because I was really opinionated, and now I think because I designed shit.
Hey, let me tell you. I'm made the villain of this podcast for the same reason. And this little bitch skates free, and he's an asshole because you know him.
I know.
Do better, work harder.
No, I think it's just your aerial view when you want to target.
I don't understand why
she's a sniper.
Why in the society we live in that it's like unacceptable to just be like, oh, that's bad. Like, I don't know why it's I don't understand. Like, why? It's okay if you like it.
Why?
I don't. it's like, I don't care if you like something and I don't like it, and I think that should be vice versa.
Yes.
I think it comes back to Emmanuel's mind, where everyone has a little bit of that mind in there, where if I talk shit about something or say something is bad, I can go into my mind and go down a path long enough to where I feel bad about that. Or I'm like, well, maybe it was bad because of this, and this person didn't have this advantage, and they weren't able to experience life because of this and this, and I guess I shouldn't have said that was bad. Like,
yes.
If you want to find that, you can get to that point eventually.
I can't.
But then it turns everyone into a pussy where nobody is saying anything critical about anything.
I know.
People will say music is bad pretty clearly. I think that's like a different, there's like such a defined like criticism of that. Fashion, no one says anything is bad. It's fucking crazy. It's insane.
Well, they do, but not publicly. And how we were saying before, Chris, like if a dumb band is going to do an interview and they drop out the last hour, the last minute, and the PR person says like, hey, sorry, this band dropped out, but here is a replacement, or like, this shirt is ugly, but if they change this and this, it would be better. This cheeseburger is bad, but if they fix the bun and offer something instead of just saying it's bad, I think that's a good place for criticism.
But I don't think that people really actually know what the fuck they're talking about. I think that there are people that are actually who study these crafts and study these different movements, know the references. But I even think that the people who know the references aren't actually thinking about like the structures. Like, I think about structures all the time. Like, and I was like watching this movie, which I will not say the name of.
We got to know the references and the structures.
Damn, bro. What do you think? I don't have time for that. I got to work out.
Yeah, we didn't get our masters. All right, we don't know about the structures.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I went to school to acquire the language to then apply to these crazy thoughts that I always had. But it's like the fact that people don't realize that, like, the person, I think that people are able to recognize references and like, oh, like this is good historically, right? But like, don't realize that person made a decision which then made that thing cool. It wasn't pulled out of thin air, or like I mean, for instance, music, like popular music. I mean, the music we listen to is like only kind of like conditioned. It's like subconsciously like kind of like plugged into our brain because these people decide to play it 5 times a day. Like that's the only reason why like pop music pops off. Like it's not actually certain things chart more than the other. It's just these are the priorities of these companies.
It's quality, not quantity. It gets beaten into our brain whether or not we like the song, and then you're like, shit, I guess I like.
You know what it is? It's like the people who aren't thinking generally about things, like think that they're vibing, but they're fucking actually harsh on the vibe. The people who like have thought and are out here decided in their bag. When I go to the bar, like I'm straight up like, my whole thing is like, I am stupid. I try to tell myself that every day. I wake up like, I don't know shit. And then I navigate the world.
You're like, I'm not going to fuck anyone unless I operate in a place of stupidity.
Yeah.
But don't limit yourself. I mean, obviously you're coming from a mental place of at the top, it's just us, not to quote 300, but you have to, like, you deserve to find somebody who's also at the top.
Right.
In terms of a relationship. I don't want you to be dumbing it down.
No, but in your day to day, you're not trying to always be on.
It's exhausting. You're telling me it's being a celebrity is tough. You can't, I'm with my family, I'm eating. Guys, can you leave me alone? You know what I mean? Like,
as a thought leader, I have to use marijuana or else I'm always on.
I mean, I'm not one to do drugs like that, but like I am just trying to have fun and like party. Like I think like I'm now realizing like, it's like when you go off to college, you're like, I want to be, when you project, you're like, I want to be so-and-so. I want to be da, 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 da. And then you get there and I was like, actually, like I was friends with all the serious people and the people who are like in their bag hustling. And now I'm like, yo, if we don't have fun together, I can't do it. Like I actually can't.
That's how you and I kind of met. I remember like just being in the club, and I remember being like,
I know
this is like a nice guy who's like smiling and has a good attitude and spirit and is like also fun and respectful and was being nice to me and I thought was funny and had a good time. I'm like, that's a nice person that I like. And we kind of bonded on,
thank you,
less intellectual items.
Yes.
It's a shocker, Jason, that you bonded with someone over less intellectual items. That's very interesting to hear.
But I mean, I'll be DJing in the club and he'll run in and just start dancing right in front of me. I'm like, what a nice guy. He likes the song and he's showing that with physical use, not the mental. And he gets
some
the
drink
started.
tickets. Don't forget about the drink tickets.
Do I give Emmanuel some drink tickets? Sure. Yeah. The importance of bonding in a physical, less intelligent space is also as important as having a deep conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Where were you partying in high school, though?
I mean, a lot of my friends growing up were rich, and so a lot of their parents were out of town.
Oh, baby, so you were doing coke at the house party. I like that.
I mean, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Adderall. I'm sorry. It was a different time. No, it was a different time.
No, but I think like for instance, like I think my friend tells me this story. My friend tells me the story of like no, because like I grew up with like a lot of.
So did you go to Crossroads or Harvard Westlake?
I went to neither. I was actually like I wasn't in it. I was of it, you know? So like I went to public school.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hiding in plain sight. Like no one really knew. If you didn't know my school, you didn't know that like I was smart taking AP classes. You know what I mean?
Mm.
All of my friends went to Crossroads, New Roads, Oakwood, Harvard Westlake, Brentwood.
So you were on the wrong side of the tracks.
I was on the wrong side. Exactly. And so I would do a cameo and pop in.
So the Mercedes was not AMG is what you're saying. It was just a regular Mercedes.
No, I actually drove my mom's Saturn, bro. Let's fucking talk about it.
You know, Emmanuel, one of my favorite things in the world.
Tough to get parts nowadays.
One of my favorite things in the world is when people drive cars that are no longer in production.
Listen.
Saturn is one of those, and then of course the famous Nissan Xterra, which is no longer in production.
You need the whole
brand,
not
to be
just
gone.
the mod. Yeah. So we got the Dodge, the Neon, the Saturn, the Geo Metro.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to all those legends.
So yeah, you really came out the mud.
I did.
So she was a Saturn stan.
Yeah, my mom was a Saturn stan. I'm actually back in my practical bag. Like in high school, I was so crafty and like resourceful. Like I didn't give a fuck what I was in. My grandmother drove this busted, beat up Nissan Quest van. It was blue. It was like ocean blue, pearl blue. And if I had to get to the function, like I was mobbing however it needed to happen. It was fuck aesthetics. Like I was pulling up, I would park 2 blocks away.
I like that you said fuck aesthetics. I did park 2 blocks away, so nobody saw my aesthetics.
I did. You know, for like the deep, because like the deep homies like knew it was like, you know, pre
Uber.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the car with like vodka and Coke. Like it just like bought like a $12 handle at like CVS and like chugged that shit in the car.
Of course.
Pre-game. We pre-gamed in the car. Yes. And then I think my friends who like I grew up with, like how I really partied with in high school, like there was this time when we in high school, like maybe junior year, like we pulled up to Claire and Nick Pfister's house.
Cool. Okay. Great.
And their dad is the acclaimed cinematographer Wally Pfister, who shot. You know who Wally Pfister?
I thought you said Pfizer, but no, I don't. No.
What are some of Wally Pfister's cinematological exploits? You think you like Wally? Name 5 of his cinematic exploits.
Yeah.
I can name 3. I can name the only 3 that matter to me, which actually is the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh shit. Okay. Chris doesn't do superhero movies.
You guys are nerds, man. Move on.
Christopher Nolan Dark.
Yo, he's downtown LA. He's got the jib shot. Ooh. He's got the big old jib crane on the Saturn view.
Whenever I need to kind of check myself, I watch that. Like whenever I feel lost.
When you need to check yourself?
Yeah.
You use Batman to check yourself?
I listen to like Elliott Smith, and you watch 3 Batman movies.
Yes,
when you need to check yourself.
I'm able to like channel, like you know when he's like when like I think it's in the lab.
No spoilers, honey. No spoilers.
I've never seen these movies, and I never will. But go ahead.
Oh my god, no! But there's this like it's just like a psychological exercise. Like all those movies are like all these like plot twists, and also like let's talk about it. Like what's her name? That Devil Wears Prada, Anne Hathaway. Oof,
really?
Sexy.
You're the only person I've ever said or I've ever heard speak positively of Anne Hathaway.
No. I think Anne Hathaway low key has a body on her, but she's dorky, so you don't really see it.
I would want to hit on the low just to see what it's like.
Of course.
You fuck around and find out. But I really do live in between the Devil Wears Prada and the Dark Knight, and I didn't realize that she was a link. I didn't really realize that she was a link. Devil Wears Prada to Catwoman, like, come on, like
that's range. That's range.
And Les Mis, like I don't know, she's doing it. She's fucking doing it.
Your favorite could never do Les Mis, Batman, and Devil Wears
So
Prada.
so Hathaway could fill out the latex suit, is what we're saying.
Listen, but no, in high school I was like actually I think I'm still crazy now, but a lot of people don't really know it in the same way. But
they will after we listen to this podcast.
But context though, like Claire Pfister was in Bling Ring at this time.
Oh, okay. So this was a party to be at.
Yeah, and like because like we all went to high school together. It was like all these people's children. They're in the cut, and I partied harder in high school than I did as an adult in New York in my 20s.
I know kids like you. Who at 15 were at the club.
At the club, yeah. I was at EDC.
I was fisting before I had my driver's license.
It happened.
You were at EDC.
I was at EDC. Yeah.
I was too.
Yeah, Jason, you guys might have met in a different life. You know
I know.
what I'm saying?
When we were candy stepping.
DJ Them Jeans could have been the soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean that's how I met Emmanuel. He gave me a beautiful light show. And,
I gave you some. My name actually used to be my name used to be Twister. My rave name was Twister.
That was your rave name?
Yeah.
Twister?
Yeah.
Okay, this is good.
To walk the story home, though, Claire had been in the bling ring, and like my friend, I was actually really good friends with her older brother Nick, and so it was always like on site. Like you would pull up and you're like, "What's a this is when like you were invited to the Facebook event." Like I think that this is so lost on culture, right? Like you could see everyone who was invited to the party on the Facebook event, and then you had to like put like +1 or like who you were bringing in the comments on the page. Like you like, oh my god, like Ashley Scott is bringing Trevor like Jackson, and you'd be like, oh, like are they still fucking? Like it was just like crazy, and like I would be like +7 on my shit, and I would pull up, and like
I'd pull up, I'd park in a different zip code, and we'd start pre-gaming.
I'd park in a different zip code, and like Uber over. No, Uber wasn't a thing at that point. Uber wasn't a thing at that point. But
I call a cab.
Beverly Hills cab. Yes. Anyway, no, I pulled up to the party and like I would always be rolling like 7 deep. Like that was a serious thing. And my friend's like, you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy you are to like
the audacity?
And we're not talking to anybody all night. That's the vibe.
You bring your own people to the party and partake in the event, but you just want to be in the environment. You don't need to actually associate with the other goers.
It's like Drake in the different section at the club.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to watch me, but you can't come and speak to me unless you've been summoned.
It's more of like the party in the car. Like it's a very serious ritual of mine. Like, like when we're in the car together, like don't fucking talk. Like music is playing. Like that is what the vibe is.
So you're trapped in a car and no one's allowed to talk to each other? This sounds like a hostage situation.
If you're DJing and you're in the vibe and you're in the cut, like if you can do like a guest shot, like that's cool.
So this is peak past the aux cord.
Oh my god, this was this was like, or like I'm driving, like you got this, like get us there. You know what I mean? I'm mobbing on the 10, trying to get to PCH to get to Mandeville Canyon. You got this. Like you got to get me there. Type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jason was like that too, but it was more like drunk driving to Orange County and stopping the car and listening to Coldplay. It was kind of it was after he was more of an after party in the car.
You're also not allowed to talk when Coldplay Fix You is playing in the car.
I feel like people don't know how to party. I don't know. Are people? It fucks me up going to parties in New York, or I'm like, you realize you're not doing anything, right? Like you realize you just like invited people to your apartment and like. That's it. Like you really,
it's just a place to TikTok.
People who live in Manhattan and who can afford fucking convenience, like I could afford an apartment to live in the city, but it's a very different architecture. Like I can't like sit on my sofa. Like how many people have a living room in Chinatown? No one.
Bro, I'm in the East Village in my living room right now.
Yeah. But is your living room connected to your dining room, which is connected to your kitchen, which is connected to your bathroom?
What? Why you gotta come at me like that? No.
It's a central space, sure.
I don't need a dining room because I don't eat at home like a real New Yorker. So that I'm all set on that. But I do have a bathroom. I do love to shower.
Exactly. But I think that there are certain things that people don't take into account. And I'm all about entertaining, and not that I have anyone in my house because
the thought of that is disgusting, but yeah.
Did you see Rihanna like a few weeks ago? She was doing the red carpet with ASAP. She's like, they were like, oh, like, do you go to other people's houses? And she's like, no, I stay at home, like, or whatever. And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, yeah, Rihanna, like, I'm on that back too. Like, I do find people can come to my house, but no, cause like, I'm actually worried about tomorrow because I just want people to come over. Like, I'm actually invited people and I don't know if they can fit. And we're just gonna see again vibes.
You gonna let people smoke inside, or what's the vibe?
No, I have a backyard, and
that's right.
There's some weeds out there. You have to climb out the window. It's a little ghetto, but we do what we gotta do. You know
what are you gonna serve? Like, is it? I mean, do you have an alcohol sponsor?
I'm serving vibes.
What do you mean? You can't just serve vibes. We need to talk about music, Culinary and alcohol.
Is there a past hors d'oeuvre, or is it more of a sit down?
What's our candle story in the bathroom?
No. It's a actually I have the Byredo. Is that?
Yeah, we're a Byredo family on this podcast. That's Diptyque.
No,
bro.
actually,
Come
sorry,
on.
that's Diptyque. That's Diptyque, bro.
That shit's used, bro. That shit's used as hell. You need to get you need to order 5 more of those before the party.
Don't come for me like that.
Emmanuel's gonna email me in an hour and be like, "Can we cut out the part where I said I have a Diptyque candle?"
This is one of the things that I wish people knew. Like, I'm not dumb, but I don't really think about things. Like, I'm a very intuitive. So, like, I've had to learn how to explain why I like things to people, you know? Because, like, I'm attracted to things. And I'm like, oh, like, this is why this thing had to be that way.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And here's the response. I don't know. It's fire. That's all you have to say to
Exactly.
anything.
But because people think I'm in an intellectual.
They're like, "What's his reasoning?" And I'd love to hear it.
What's my reasoning? No, but people want a story. People want me taken on a fucking journey, and I'm like, just because I'm black doesn't mean I have some story. Like, I'm just trying to vibe.
No, but I agree with you. I think people like really want to intellectualize some shit where it's like, they fit good. I don't know what to tell you, man. These jeans, they are Levi's and they fit good. So I did purchase them with my money.
A few weeks ago, I was like at a friend had a dinner party and like invited like 2 or 3 other people. And like, I'm really strategic in how I ask certain questions, or really like, I'm really considered in my wording of certain questions these days. I asked a friend of mine, I was like, would you consider yourself autistic? And she was like we kind of like were kind of in like the dance of the conversation, and she was like, yeah, or like we were talking about something, and like I was sitting around the table and I was like, we all have like varying degrees of autism. Like, it is so clear.
It is a spectrum for a reason.
All of my friends are autistic, where they're like, it fit nice and I felt good, and so I left. You know, or it's like or we were actually no. We were listening to music and she was like, that hi-hat or that and I'm like, no, but that when it thudders in that 10-second like window.
Well, I guess since you are very considered with your question asking, and you are clearly on the spectrum of autism,
and I'm black,
and you are black. I don't know how that fits into this question.
I'm gay.
You're gay.
I'm not trying. I'm not. People out here thinking that you're trying to do the most. I'm trying to do the least and get paid the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying.
Well, I was going to ask you because I almost bought the new issue of Pinup at the magazine store, but then it was $35. So I don't know what. Like, I don't know. Can you help me out? Because I mean, I have the money. I have the money,
but you don't have a dining room.
I'm house poor right now, but my periodical collection is
kind of weak.
No, that's his problem. That's why he doesn't have a living room or a dining room, is because he spent it all on expensive magazines.
My book and magazine collection could rival anyone's. It's kind of my life's work.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes Pinup's a little too heady for me, but I do think it's beautifully done.
I mean, it's always already been a collector's, like,
totally. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I
think it will be. I think it will be justified in terms of how we continue to publish editorial content on the website. Like, we're redoing the website, and like I think it's just going to become more of an experience. I don't know. I think a lot of people, certain people are like discovering the magazine. It's like having a new life.
No, I think it's definitely having a new life. I think the book kind of did some of that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That price point, all joking aside, is like what it has to be for people to care.
I know.
If it's $10, no one cares. If it's more expensive, I think it becomes something more special to people.
The publisher is really particular about like paper, and it's really funny how,
of course,
you really do get the magazine doesn't feel like a lot of magazines, and that's
no, it doesn't. No,
it actually doesn't.
It's no. I mean, that stuff matters, and I think it also makes people feel like, I think there's 2 ways people do it. It's like, in the heyday of Purple, it would just be like the thickest magazine you've ever seen, and that justified the price.
Yes.
Or it's a materials thing justifies the price. There's 2 ways it can go.
Yeah.
I would prefer materials at a certain point. Like, I love Arena Ohm Plus, and I buy all of them, but 650 pages is like, guys,
it's like the wine list at the grill.
Exactly.
I was talking to Wolfgang Tillmans the other day, and he
flex,
and just catching up with a buddy,
just an old friend. I call him Wolf.
Yeah, Wolfie for short. Come here, Wolfie. Little Wolf. But
Wolfie's Wolfie, if you know him.
We're talking about like real estate in the magazine, right? And like, he was saying like you get 800 page, you get like 60 pages in a magazine, and like it means one thing, but it kind of like takes away from it having a presence. And like we're and like thinking about like what when he was talking about like when he came up in the 90s was only given like 6 pages, and like if he was lucky they gave him 8, and like that was a huge thing. And like
Arena Plus is, I mean, I love it. It's a good example. They'll give somebody 50 pages,
Right.
40 pages.
Right.
There needs to be some editing. You know what I mean? That's like a lot.
I have all those magazines from when I like bought magazines, and I'm actually like going through them to kind of refine my magazine collection. Because of like self-service, like there are these.
Bro, I've got the Kate Moss self-service right here. The shit could kill someone. It's like if I threw it at Jason, it'd break his foot. It's not. But that's the thing. It's $50.
No.
You know what I mean, or whatever. It's like you justify the price with the size, and I just don't. I think I would prefer quality.
I got this like Acne Moto jacket recently, and like there's like piping, and like it's like really like they're like ribbing, and like it's like crazy. It's like a really it's like really sculptural, and like I don't wear black. I rarely wear black, but I had to cop this one, and I got this new jacket. Yes, new blah blah blah. He was like, yeah, like I have an Acne leather jacket too. And then we go out one night, and he's wearing it, and I was like, is that the jacket that you got? I was like, oh yeah, like you have the old one, like that's sick, like that's cool, like yeah, I got like mine. Cause we were talking about them in abstractly, like I was like, yeah, I got this jacket,
Yeah,
and I had to throw it down, had to figure it out, had to make it make sense. And he's wearing his jacket, and I'm like, yeah, it's the old Moto jacket. Well, yeah, of course, I know that one.
Oh, you got the old one.
And he was like, no, like I just got this. Like this was actually like a big up for me. I thrifted this like last week, and I was like, "No, you gotta lead with that next time. You gotta lead.
Yeah.
You gotta lead with the. I just copped that old new.
Yeah. Old. It's old, but new to him, which I think is an important clarification to make when you're talking about clothing.
I was like, you can't have me out here looking crazy. Like I wasn't trying to diss you. Like I look, listen, go off, King. Like get your latest and greatest. That's like your thing. Do your thing. But
get your latest and greatest by when you're shitting on someone for buying a vintage jacket is very cool. Oh yeah, that's cute. You got the latest and greatest for you. That's great. I love to see that.
I was like drunk, and I was like, yeah, that's I like whatever, go off. And I was like, wait, no. Like, you mean you just copped this? Like, I thought that this was like in the collection. You know what I mean? And you were kind of like doing a throwback.
No, it's different. It's a very different. Yeah,
it was a perfect blend of alcohol and autism, and it came out in a certain way.
Like, oh yes, sir, that's sick and looks so good on you. Love that.
Wow, that jacket is incredible, bro. I love the way it fits you.
I'm embarrassed to be wearing mine. Like we were both. It was like a standoff. It was like I'm in 2022, and he was like in 2016, and it was fine.
It's more of a testament to Acne's continuing relevance in the fashion space. Is how I kind of look at that. Not to get political.
And Emmanuel finding a better way to say that's cute for you.
That's cute for you. But I did keep the label, and I was like, that's old Acne. That is an old label, and that's fine.
No, that's totally fine.
That's totally fine.
If you're dealing with old Acne, check out Soft Services, softservices.co. Thank you for being our sponsor. I can clear that up for you.
It can happen on the face, but it also happens on the body.
I have so many thoughts on New York and LA, all of the places.
So when are you coming back to LA?
I was just there. I actually just came back from LA.
Were you here for Freeze?
I was here for Frizz.
I didn't see you there because I unfortunately had to go to on Saturday. I wasn't at the VIP on Thursday, which I'm sure is where you were.
I'm about to put your shit on blast. I didn't even go.
Did you at least go to the Prada party day one?
I'm not gonna comment. No comment.
Whoa.
I did. No, I didn't. I didn't go to the Prada party. I knew that I didn't go. I was actually, because I started this like new job, Freeze Week, and I have like 3 jobs. I do like I have like a lot of different things that I do, and I was just so tired. Like I was going to sleep at like 11:30. It was crazy.
Welcome to the club. It's called Grustling, and if you need any tips, tips on the Grussel lifestyle, I'm happy to help.
No,
I have
real.
some experience.
It's real.
It is real.
I went to. I was literally in LA, and so many people don't know me because of the pandemic. And like my new role, like my role as the editor of Pinups, like there are dinners that I have to go to and like niceties that have to be made.
You were at Horses 4 nights in a row in the back room with Jay and Bay.
So you had to break it to all of your old LA scrub friends. Like I'm on a different.
Unfortunately,
plateau.
I did change up on you, and I'm not gonna.
There are niceties involved.
I was in the deep cut at Horses, smoking. I was in my bag. It was fucked. I was like on the like side the like little ramp in the back, like smoking with some like British people, and they were smoking Vogues.
Okay.
Had one, and I hadn't had a cigarette in like almost has to have been almost 10 years, and I was like, I'm not. These niggas got me out here smoking cigarettes.
And was this an indoor cig at Horses?
No, we were in the back room at Horses, and we like there's like a outdoor. There's like a door.
Yeah, like a little behind. Yeah,
the entrance where Jay-Z and Beyonce would come in.
Yeah, you know, and like I was in the cut, and it was cute, but I was like, I'm out here. These people out here influencing me.
You got swept up by Freeze. It happens every year.
It was so nice being in LA actually, because I do think, I mean, everyone's always trying to have a conversation like, would you rather? And I'm like, I wouldn't. I'm not thinking about it. Like I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be anywhere. I'm trying to be everywhere.
Don't do that to me, bro. I haven't even had my second coffee yet.
That's the soundbite right there.
You don't want me on my Lauryn Hill shit. You know what I'm saying?
I really don't. I really don't. I'm sorry that I disrespected you or thought any less. I apologize for everything that I've done.
Well, you were late for this podcast on your Lauryn Hill shit, but go ahead.
Yeah. You barely showed up.
Don't do me like that. I knew because I was actually my like co-founder for this magazine that I run. She was dropping off merch. And I was outside getting it, and I was like, it's gonna come up. They're gonna comment on, and I made it this far without the commentary.
So when are you moving here? But yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. I want to be everywhere.
Yeah,
not anywhere.
I don't know. It's like spatial. LA is such a special place, and like I think that people don't actually realize how weird it is, and it's such a weird place.
I say this all the time because I'm a fairly new resident after visiting for years and years.
Like you live there?
Yeah. I live. I live here and I live there.
Wait, what?
She's bi-coastal.
Run it back.
I have two places of residence.
Run it back. Where
Run that back, Turbo.
Where's LA place?
It just changed, but West Hollywood.
You're a wee ho ho.
That's right.
Starting to make a little more sense, isn't it, Emmanuel?
Whoa.
If you want to come to Hamburger Mary's with me, just let me know.
Like where you at?
I'm not gonna get into specifics.
No.
But
dial back. Give me like main cross streets.
Maybe he's more closer to the Erewhon than Dantana's, if that makes sense.
Yes.
All right.
He doesn't have an apartment above Rage, but you know.
Okay.
But after living in New York for full time for like 13 years and thinking it's crazy coming from like Atlanta, LA is twice as crazy.
LA is
absolutely insane.
Buck.
Absolutely insane. Not even comparable.
Like watching Euphoria, I'm like, this is cute. This is really cute for the type of shit that we were doing. Like this was like, talk about raving. Like my friend lived in Beverly Hills Post Office, like off Cherokee Lane. And growing up, and her mom was a talent agent, like represent like Dakota, whatever, represent the girls. And we went to this rave Beyond Wonderland, which was like in Bakersfield or something.
San Bernardino type shit.
San Bernardino, exactly. And basically took a cab from her house in Beverly Hills Post Office to San Bernardino.
Some rich people shit right there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Wait. And like her mom didn't know. We like completely snuck out. And then we went there and then like had a way there because like we ordered the cab and went, but didn't have a way back. Jesus, take the wheel type shit. We were walking down this like mile long block in San Bernardino, trying to like get a cab, and we saw our friend and her mom in the car, and like literally knocked on the window. We're like, "Hey, like you got us." Literally had the backseat empty, and we're driving back to LA. And like we get back to LA at like 7 a.m. or something, or like, and there's a marathon that stopped. At Little Santa Monica. So like we couldn't get up Beverly. Like we could not get up Beverly Drive, and it stopped at Little Santa Monica. So we had to get out in our rave gear. I'm in a tank top. They're both in fishnets, and we had to walk through Beverly Hills up to the Beverly Hills Post Office in that attire. And that was like, and like sneak in, redress, and then like hop the fence, redress, and then encounter her mom like rolling and be like, hey girl, like, how'd you sleep? And like and her mom be like, oh,
hey girl, how'd you sleep?
Hey girl, how'd you like me I was always like in all my friends' parents' face, I'm like, hey girl, how are you?
So that's a good strategy. If you always appear to be the person who's coming down off of ecstasy,
crazy.
Then when you actually are coming down off of ecstasy, they're like, oh,
no one
that's just
notices.
being normal.
No one knows.
I'm always buck wild with my shit. I'm always like, hey girl, what's up? My little voice.
What's for breakfast?
What's for breakfast? Like, what are we doing? What's the vibe?
I need more orange juice.
No,
What we doing at 7 a.m. on ecstasy is very
What
cool.
we doing?
where are we going for breakfast? Because we always go out for breakfast. We're like, where are we ordering? What are you making? And no, it's
Damn.
and in seeing Euphoria, it actually has me pressed because I'm like, I was really out in those streets driving drunk.
Mhm.
What?
We're a pro drunk driving podcast. Like the time has changed, obviously, but we've all been through it.
There was a certain time it had to be done.
I keep talking about this. Like, I want to make a television show that, like, I was really want to make a television show because I know LA and like the architecture of it. Like, no one talks like
We already have Selling Sunset. If you want to do a show about the architecture of LA.
Yeah, I think you should partner with them. They're pretty successful.
it's not about the actual, like, it's not so literal. It's not about like the architecture. It's about the fact that growing up without cabs in that city, growing up without Uber in that city, like
Mhm.
being like, I like was posted up at Century City in middle school before its like third facelift. You know what I mean? Like,
This is pre-Italy.
listen, I think, look, I like Euphoria. I think it's cool, but it's so storied. Like, I didn't watch Twin Peaks. Like, you can't, I don't fuck with that shit. But I really do watch this show and I'm like, like people really think that like it's just like,
You want to do right by your LA. You want to create.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, you, me, Chris, Jeremy O'Harris, we're in the writers' room. We'll get an 8-ball and a suite
No,
at the Chateau
listen.
Marmont. We'll write season 1.
We'll just do this, bro. It's no problem.
I just want something to remember. I want something for people to remember me by. The stuff that I'm doing now.
Let me show you my LA.
In the movies, like, they'll be shooting shit in like Mar Vista, and then you'll suddenly be in like
Mhm.
like North Hollywood. And I'm like, bro, like what? Like,
You have to. That's something you have to. As an LA resident, we all suffer from that. But consider it to be a badge of honor of knowing, like, oh, that's downtown LA. That's not New York.
That's true.
You can't be in this neighborhood, but because 99% of the people watching it have no idea.
Yeah.
You and I have an attentive eye.
Yeah,
We
you
live
need
in
to
LA.
relax. You need just to relax, man. Just relax.
But
That's
that's just how the industry goes. You know what I mean?
I know. But hey, hear me out.
Okay. Well, also, Emmanuel, we got to land this. This is where we're landing the plane. So let's be poignant.
It's like people wilding who are from Ohio. Like, there are certain architects of the city who, like, you party with a certain person from North Hollywood or like Valley Oak or whatever, like, you really pop off with those people because they have different energy. Like, I think that's like unexplored. Like, the people from downtown, the people from Westwood.
I don't want the energy from downtown, but that's on you.
I mean, yeah.
To see somebody from Los Feliz Hills and Bel Air, they're grinding in different lanes, but where they intersect, it's a beautiful thing.
No, it's oil and water. It's oil. I mean, listen, before I partied so hardcore on the West Side, before maybe 10th grade, like, it was like deep cut, like Brentwood, Pally, like Santa Monica, like
Pally?
Marina Del Rey,
Mhm.
Marina Del Rey,
Not Marina Del Rey, not Marina
or Playa Del Rey, or Mar Vista, or Venice, or
Okay, now we're just naming different cities, but yeah,
I'm
cool.
scared. I'm scared for you.
It was deep cut. But then in high school, it all went east side.
Yeah. That's the shift. I mean, that was the general shift.
Yeah.
But it's just like New York. The neighborhoods that are cool and not cool are constantly in flux.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Midtown is having a moment, which is something that we would have thought.
Everyone's trying to claim this. I'm like, just because people have been to Rush and Samovar twice, miss me with that energy.
Well, once you get older, you'll know that everything is cyclical. Santa Monica and Holmby Hills will be cool again one day.
That's true.
And then Silver Lake is taking a shit right now. That's
what it is.
That's just
man.
what it is. And if you pay close attention to it, Emmanuel, then you could really start playing the real estate market and not just the magazine real estate market. Thank you for doing this podcast today.
Emmanuel, thank you for coming, and we'll see you on Selling Sunset season 4 on Netflix soon. And
season 4.
They can purchase.
They're booking me for the job.
They can purchase Pinup wherever magazines are sold.
They can purchase his chair on Essence.com, currently on sale.
Actually, no. And I thought my stuff was sold. My stuff is sold out on Essence, bro. Back it up.
As of this morning, it was still available for purchase.
Really? No way.
I don't want to be that bitch,
Really?
but I have the receipts.
Did you check?
I have the receipts in my Chrome history.
Oh my god, no. Okay, but I am actually going to manifest this. Actually, I'm thinking Succession. If Dasha can do it, the podcast to
Congratulations to elite podcaster Dasha on her SAG award.
on her SAG.
We love
award.
that for her.
Listen, I mean, like the meme of her is insane.
She never disappoints me. Emmanuel, thank you.
Oh, sorry. There's only one chair remaining. By the time this podcast goes up, I'm sure it'll be
It's gone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, King. And happy birthday. Happy birthday. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you. It was also recently Joshua's birthday. She's a Pisces. If you really want to know how crazy the birthday.
Oh, I could tell. You don't think I know that? We'll talk to you later.
Bye. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, King. Later.
Later. Thanks.
Baby.